In this video, we will discuss about the direct product of two groups, two or more groups. Let us suppose we have one group having two elements. This is G1 and the elements of this group G1 is 1 and 2. And on other hand, we have one more group G2 and the elements of G2 are X and Y. Then the direct product of G1 and G2 can be written as G1 cross G2. If you are using here multiplicative operation, then you will use here G1 cross G2 and the output will be equivalent to the ordered pair of first this 1 will be associated with this X. It means in first ordered pair we will write here 1X. After that we will write here 1Y. The 1 will be associated with Y and after that 2 will be associated with X. So you will write here 2X in a line. This is 2 and this is X. So this is 2X and after that you will write the last element which is 2Y. These are the core elements of the cross product of G1 and G2, and such type of operation is known as the direct product or external direct product of two groups. So the direct product of two groups G1 and G2 can be defined as by the ordered pair G1 G2, where G1 are the elements of first group G1 while G2 this is the element of second group G2. It means this is not a single ordered pair only, you have to written all possible ordered pair from the G1 and G2 as I have mentioned in this example. If G1 G2 this is the first ordered pair and let us suppose this is another ordered pair, and if we multiply these two ordered pair and the output can be written in this manner, then the G means the cross product of or direct product of G1 and G2. This G will known as a group. It means it will again forms a group. And in the scenario of external product of two groups or the external direct product of two groups G1 and G2, if you want to take the inverse of on the ordered pair, then it will be written as the inverse of first element and the inverse of second element. Suppose we have the three groups G1, G2 and G3. Let us suppose I have one more group G and this is having on G3 and having some elements. Here I am writing only single elements due to the space problem. Let us suppose this is alpha. Then what will be the way to write the all possible ordered pair? You will associate 1 with X and in the from third group you will write here alpha. So this is our first ordered pair. Similarly the next will be written as 1Y and alpha, and after that you will write here 2X alpha and 2Y alpha. These are the total possibilities to write the ordered pair for the cross multiplication of G1, G2 and G3. While if you have the one more element beta, then the similarly 4 ordered pairs will be generated due to the involvement of beta. So this is the way to write the external direct product of two or more groups. Let us suppose we have n groups, then the ordered pair will contain n elements. However, this will be known as, or this will be used as single element, but this single element or this ordered pair will contains n elements. It means this is the single element which is representing by this ordered pair, and these single elements are generated by these n sub elements, and these sub elements will belongs to the group. So it means G1 will be belong to first group G1, G2 will belongs to second group G2 and so on. If the composition involving on these groups G1, G2 and so on are addition, then you will write the external direct product of these groups by using this symbol. This symbol is known as direct sum in our discrete mathematics or another computer oriented subject. So you will use here this symbol. However, we are writing it to find the external direct product. We are using this symbol for the product, but internally G1, G2 and so on are uh, having the composition addition. Let's discuss a theorem. In this theorem, it is stated that G is the direct product or external direct product of these n groups, and H1, H2, H3, these are the some subsets, and having the elements in this scenario, it means you will take any element from the first group and identity of remaining, because in this ordered pair the first element will belongs to this first group, the second elements will belong to second group, and the third element will belong to third group. So in this fashion you will put or use identity of remaining groups, while you will take any elements from this group G1 except identity. Please note that this G1 is not a particular element, it will the set of all possible ordered pairs, but we will use the first elements taken from G1. Similarly, H2 is defined in this manner that the second position will be fulfilled by the elements of group G2 and so on, and this is the nth subset, and these subsets having n ordered pairs. Then we have to show that this H1 is a normal subgroup. As per the given problem, this H1 is not empty. It will contain at least one element, because H1 is defined as the set of these ordered pairs. So the first ordered pair G1, please make it correct, G1 E2. Now this the ordered pair is G1 E2 and so on. This is En. At least one ordered pair will belongs to H1, so this H1 cannot be empty. Let us suppose there are two elements. The first element is G1, and the remaining positions will be fulfilled by identity elements, and the second order pair will be generated another element G1 dash, it because G1 and G1 dash, these are two elements taken from the group G1. Now what will happen if we write the in this manner that I want to find AB inverse. Here we are trying to apply this approach, and in this approach it is stated that if A and B, these are two elements of a subset H, and AB inverse is also belonging to H, then this H is known as a subgroup. So first we wish to show that this H1 is a subgroup. So here we are taking two elements, this is first element A and this is the second element B. Now we are trying to showing that AB inverse is also belonging to this H. So I have written first element as it, while we are writing on the second inverse on the second element. As we have earlier discussed that inverse will be distributed over element to element, so this inverse will be distributed on first element and on so on, and we know that the every identity element is its own inverse. Here we have written the product of these two elements, and here the multiplication will be as their order. The first element will be multiplied by first and the second element will be multiplied by second, so the product of E2 with E2 will again E2 and so on. So because this is the element of G, these are two elements of group G, and G is a subgroup, G is a group. So by using the closure property we will say that this composition will also belongs to G. Hence this element is belonging to H1. So we have shown that AB inverse is belonging to H1, so H1 is a subgroup. Again we wish to show that this is a normal subgroup. So here we are trying to fulfill the definition of normal subgroup, and as per the definition of normal subgroup, XAX inverse must be belonging to a given set. This will be the element of the given set, then this set will be a normal subgroup. So here we have fulfilled the definition of normal subgroups. You can check the calculation step to step. Hence we can say that this H1 is a normal subgroup. Now this is the additional part not related to this theorem, and here we wish to show that the group G can be expressed as the product of two or more subgroups. So G can be written as the product of the subgroups H1, H2 and so on Hn. So this is the definition for this. In case of any difficulty to understand this lecture, please contact me. Thank you.